Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here, welcome back to another Destiny 2 video, and today we are talking about Iron Banner weapons, and more importantly, which ones are the best, which ones should you be keeping an eye out for, and maybe even using should they come your way. In total, Iron Banner has 8 weapons for you to earn, 4 in the kinetic slot, that's an auto rifle, pulse rifle, scout rifle and hand cannon, as well as 2 for your energy slot, a sidearm and an SMG, and then another 2 for your power slot, a fusion rifle and a grenade launcher. As is to be expected, some of them are good, some of them a little less so. So in this video, I'm going to be going over what I believe to be the top 5 Iron Banner weapons right now. If you do enjoy this, you do find it helpful, then a like would be super appreciated. And be sure to comment down below and let me know what you guys think, how you're getting on with these weapons, and also if you have any different opinions. So, first up, coming in at number 5, we have the Hero's Burden, a submachine gun. This is one of those insanely fast rate of fire archetypes, and while the current favourites typically fall to either the Antiope D or the Mida Mini, this is a weapon worth paying attention to. It has adaptive frame, giving the weapon above average stability and handling, and the recoil direction on this is actually pretty good, making it easy to manage despite the rate of fire. I personally run this with the SPO28 medium zoom sight for that slight increase to range, but more importantly, in your middle column you have high caliber rounds. This further increases your range, and your shots cause knockback. If you're going to be using this, then this is without a doubt the perk you should choose. And to top it all off, Threat Detector is actually a great perk for this kind of weapon. You get increased reload, stability and handling when enemies are close, and given your typical engagement range for an SMG, this is something you will, without a doubt, be taking full advantage of. So all up, a pretty strong contender for close range PvP. The only real letdown is the slightly small magazine, but it's definitely something you can work around.
Captured. Zone advantage is yours. 5 minutes remaining.
Next up, moving on from there to number 4, we have a fusion rifle, the Wizened Rebuke. Now, fusion rifles in general are pretty strong and can provide some great results in PvP. This particular entry has very high impact and aim assist, plus it has an above average range stat and decent stability. The magazine size is pretty decent. The only real letdown here are the slightly long charge times, which can be managed thanks to the perks. And also the reload speed is a little bit slow too, but if you're running this in PvP and you're collecting from the power ammo, then you won't be reloading anyway. On the sights front, there's really not much in it. To be honest, you can't go wrong with any of them, but I personally run the Red Dot 2 MOA, partly because I like the sight, and also partly because there's a minute range increase with that one too. In the middle column, I would recommend Enhanced Battery. This gives you a slightly bigger magazine, and while the impact is higher on liquid coils, so too is your charge time, and let's be honest, if you pull off a clean shot, it's going to kill your opponent anyway, so that is more than enough impact to play with. But on top of that, you have Backup Plan, which grants reduced charge time and increased handling speed for a short time after swapping the weapon. So if you run into your engagements with this in mind, and swap to this weapon just before you need to shoot, you can drastically shorten your charge time, making this a very potent weapon.
2. All of you together, like Iron Lords.
After that, turning our attention to the second of the energy offerings, at number 3 we have a sidearm, the Fool's Remedy. Quick shout out to TheFelange for this one. He let me test out the sidearm on his account since I was getting super unlucky with my drops. I've left a link to his Twitter and his Twitch down below. He streams Raid Help, so be sure to check him out if you guys need a hand. Now again, right now, offerings like the Last Hope are very strong players in the Crucible, and while it might be hard to consider looking elsewhere, the rapid fire Saurus types are actually pretty good, and just in general, a lot of fun to use. To be honest, I think I just like these ones because they also slightly remind me of the Halo pistol, but in all seriousness, the Iron Banner offering is quite strong. It's got above average stability, reload speed and handling, with a pretty good magazine size. The main downside for this is the range stat is a little bit below average, and sidearms already aren't great at extended ranges, but this definitely falls short on that front. You do have the option of the Farpoint sight if you want to push the range out a little bit, but then you will be sacrificing some of your stability and handling, which is one of the stronger points for this weapon. So I'd personally just run with the default sight. As for your middle column perks, again, you're pretty free to choose what you like here. You can push the range out a little if you want to, or just lean more into stability. And the moving target perk, this is really nice, since the sidearm does have pretty low aim assist, but this perk helps out a little on that front, giving you a slightly more well-rounded experience. So all up, while it might not be as good as the Last Hope, it is still very strong, and is for sure something you can consider using.
2 down.
Next up, in at number 2, we have what is actually my personal favourite Iron Banner weapon, the auto rifle named the Forward Path. And you might be thinking, well, if it's your favourite, why isn't it at number 1? And in truth, I did think about putting it there, but ultimately, to remain objective, I took a good look at the hard facts, and number 1, technically speaking, just has the edge a little bit, but in truth, there's not a lot in it, so it could have gone either way. The nice thing about this auto rifle is it has very high aim assist, above average stability, and good reload speed and handling, so a lot of very strong base stats. The range is also pretty good in this, and that's further helped by the key perk, which we'll speak about in a moment. The main downside for this is the average magazine size, but thankfully there is a perk to help boost that a little bit, and that'll become your optimal choice. On the sight front, again, not really a great deal in it, so choose what you like, but I personally picked the red dot micro. I like the sight, and it offers a marginal range boost. In the middle column, I would recommend the extended mag. Armor piercing rounds don't get as much use as you might think in the Crucible, and honestly, those extra 8 bullets can make all the difference. And as for your main perk, tap the trigger. This helps when you're trying to engage at the maximum possible distance. You get a short period of increased stability and accuracy on the initial trigger pull, so you can either burst fire this, or just use it to laser beam in to begin with. Either way, this is super stable and a very strong contender right now. On paper, you would technically speaking lose against something like Uriel's Gift, but in the heat of battle, it is very possible to go toe-to-toe with one of them, coming out on top. So this is, without a doubt, one of the top picks from Iron Banner.
An advantage is yours. Together, nothing can stop you.
Then finally, in at number 1, we have the Pulse Rifle, the Time-Worn Spire. Looking at stats alone, this might not seem like much. Low range, reload speed, stability, and handling, nothing really screams out, right? It does, however, have high aim assist and a good magazine size, but this is one of those weapons that you really need to use to understand. In combat, it's actually very strong. Again, on the sight front, you're relatively free to go with whatever you want. So again, I ran red dot micro. But in the middle column, this one is sort of down to you. I went for range because I felt like the weapon was easy enough to control. But if you're struggling, then you can sub that in for the tactical mag and help balance that out. And then for the final perk, you have Zen Moment, which again helps with your stability when you cause damage with the weapon. So in combat, despite how it might look on the stat screen, this can deliver some rather impressive results. As mentioned, it was a close call between this and the auto rifle for the top spot, and in truth, you could swap them around and it would still be fine. They're both very strong contenders, and both weapons that you should consider using and checking out if you get the chance.
Zone B lost.
Of course, outside of that, there are still 3 weapons remaining, namely the hand cannon, scout rifle, and grenade launcher. Long story short, the scout rifle isn't great for PvP, it's a high impact model, outperformed by Mida with a longer time to kill, and the pulse monitor perk isn't great. The hand cannon has pretty low aim assist, below average handling, and the aggressive nature makes it a little hard to control. And the grenade launcher, well, it's a grenade launcher. Let's be honest, most of these aren't great at the best of times. To be fair to the weapon, as grenade launchers go, the stats are pretty nice, with a decent blast radius and spike grenades allowing you to go for direct hits instead of bounce shots, but ultimately, given the choice, I would rather throw on, say, a rocket launcher like Sins of the Past, or take the fusion rifle that I spoke about at number 4. So yeah, that is my top 5. Those are the weapons worth keeping an eye out for during Iron Banner this time round. And while admittedly, there are plenty of great non-Iron Banner weapons out there for you to use if you're not lucky with drops, if you do happen to come by any of these, then they're definitely worth giving a shot. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.